Hey there, Cosmic Warriors, and welcome back to another video. And if you are new here, my name is Hannah. I am a Western Practical Astrologer. Okay, so in today's video, we are going to be talking all about the Venus signs. Yes, so looking at how you love, but we're also going to be touching on attraction today. Right, before we do dive in, however, please, if you can, like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. Click the bell and let me know, what is your Venus sign? My Venus sign is Capricorn. Yes, Venus is in Capricorn in my chart. And I also even just want to say here, I've noticed that I'm getting more of you viewing the channel and subscribing. So I want to say welcome to all of my new viewers and subscribers. And thank you so much for being here. With that being said, let's get into the Venus signs. The Venus signs, yes. And hey, if you're interested in booking a reading with me, you can visit my website, hannahselsewhere.com. There you can also find my practical astrology products. So I've got my astrology guides, cheat sheets, all that good stuff over there. And I want to say thank you so much to my patrons over at Patreon for all of your support. And if you are interested in becoming a patron, it's just a really great way to support the channel. You can do so by going to the link in the description box. Thank you all very much for your support over there. Rightio. Over on my podcast, the Cosmic Check-In podcast, I have created an episode all about Venus. Venus in astrology, self-worth, money, and beauty. So if you want more information, more in-depth information, just looking at, what is Venus all about within astrology, then listen to that episode. But here's what we're going to be touching on today. Venus then can show up as how and where we love. Which types of people are we attracted to in this way? And which types of people do we attract to us? Think of it like Venus is this attractive magnetic force. So in the Mars videos, so Mars through the signs and Mars through the houses, with Mars, we focus more on pursuing. We focus more on action, going after what we want. It's that outward force. Of course, even, with the Scorpio stuff, there is that inner determination as well, the emotional determination. But you see, Venus is, I suppose you could say, more of a receiver. Think of it like you attracting stuff to you. Of course, this could be money, materials, resources. Venus rules these things within astrology, especially when we focus on the Taurus side of Venus. Of course, Venus rules both Taurus and Libra within astrology. But Venus then can also show up as drawing people to us. What do you like? What qualities do you like in other people? What do you value within other people? What do other people value about you? And what do you value about yourself? So Venus then can look at our love language. So our love language, and also who and what do we value? Just to touch on love languages here, a person's love language refers to the way they prefer to receive and express love toward others, such as, this could be a friend, a lover, a close relative. How we receive love may be different from how we express it. And it was Gary Chapman who came up with the idea that there are 5 fundamental love languages. So these love languages are words of affirmation, acts of service, gift giving, quality time, and physical touch. In his 5 Love Languages book series, Gary explains these languages and how they apply to different relationship circumstances, such as singles, children, teenagers, and so on, right? Because that's the thing. There are different types of love, and things can vary depending on your very practical, very physical, very real situation, your circumstances. And the first of this the series, so thinking about the love languages here by Gary Chapman, was published in 1992, titled The 5 Love Languages: How to Express Heartfelt Commitment to Your Mate. I was actually born that year. Okay, so now we kind of have an idea of what love languages are all about. I also want to mention that Venus can show up as our self-worth and our self-esteem. So just remember that. This is important when it comes to attraction. This is important when it comes to love, because if we do not feel like we are worthy of receiving love, then we may not want it, right? We may reject it. We may not see ourselves then as beautiful, as lovable. Yes, so self-worth and self-esteem really do matter. And I also want to say about this, which I did touch on this within the episode about Venus over on the podcast, which is why I think it's important to give it a listen. But the other thing about this is it's our self-worth that it's so tied to our upbringing, right? How we were cared for, how we were loved as children. Yes. So Venus then can also show up as creativity, beauty, art, culture, socializing, music, pleasure, all of these things. I kind of think as, yes, Mercury is about communication and socializing as well, but Venus is also about socializing, and it's more of that connection, right? You could then speak via Mercury, but then it's that, oh, I like this person via Venus. Okay, with that then, all being said, let's get into your signs. I hope you do find these to be helpful. Venus in Aries. Venus in Aries, folks, you most likely express love through quality time and words of affirmation. When you're with lovers or friends or just, people you really like to be around, you prefer to get things moving. You want to do things together. You value that quality time that you spend with, your friends, your lovers, etc., your relatives. And you may be the one to initiate. You may be the one to pursue. You may be the one to start things. And you are typically attracted to the excitement, the rush, the passion, the desire, those desires that relationships bring, the butterflies in your stomach. You may even be quite heroic when it comes to love. Or romantic. You could very well be a hopeless romantic. And you value people who are honest, who are straightforward with you. I think this is really important when it comes to relationships and attraction, right? You need honesty. You need people to be real with you. And I think that this is also what makes you attractive as a person, right? So you can come across as really attractive because you appear sexy, or you appear like, I know who I am. You can come across as well as very confident, as just sure of what you want, sure of yourself. So yes, these qualities can be very attractive, very appealing. Perhaps you're more than comfortable being single. Okay, so if you do experience periods throughout your life where you're single, you may be very comfortable with that. You're also independent and confident in yourself, just overall there. Still, if there is a lover to win, you enjoy the chase. You enjoy pursuing. And the way you receive love may very well be through acts of service, I think, right? So you may express love through, yes, okay, it could be words of affirmation. It could be encouraging your lovers, encouraging your friends. You've got this, go for it, yeah. But with receiving love, this could be more about, oh, I'm so glad that, my friend or my partner took care of that because I didn't want to do that so much. Like cleaning the dishes, for example, you're like, so that's just a silly example, but I hope you get what I mean through the acts of service. And the thing about this is you already burn so much energy and do so much within your relationships. And so I think this is why it matters even more to you that people step in, that others, lovers step in. It's nice to have someone, I guess, cater to you or help you out. Though you will not admit this, you may prefer not to be super adult-like, right? Maybe you're big on spontaneity and freedom and not really having to, deal with many responsibilities in life. But what I want to say is, and this is a theme that we're going to go with throughout all of the signs, we want to think about the secondary progressed Venus. So the secondary progressed Venus for you could very well eventually move into Taurus throughout your life. And with that, then, this can welcome greater patience within relationships. Because especially during your younger years, you may be more impulsive, very quick, and you may not think things through very much. So the secondary progressed Venus moving into Taurus could add this quality of, okay, have you thought this through? Can you maybe take your time here and slow down and appreciate the now? Stop and smell the roses, says Venus in Taurus. Right, so let's now move on to Venus in Taurus. If you have Venus in Taurus, you most likely express love through physical touch and quality time. Just having that closeness, feeling that physical bond, right? Knowing that your lover is near, I think matters to you. Cuddling, dancing, or massage. There are many ways that you show your love. Booking that spa treatment, or buying that chocolate, or buying that beautiful gift. Possibly that could be another way that you express love. It could be via gift giving, right? So yes, for your lover or for your friend. Of course, things can differ depending on who you're with, such as giving a friend a warm hug or taking a bath with your lover, having a candlelight dinner with your lover. But you do feel closer when physically connected. And you're more willing to take your time steadily building a bond with others. So in this way, you know what? It could take you a while to commit. That's a possibility. So we think about even getting to know someone, that stage, or the dating stage. Perhaps you prefer to be steady, somewhat cautious, and to even see, okay, how are we aligned, right? Are our values aligned in this regard? Or you could be single for long periods of time if need be. Plus, I also want to mention that when in a relationship, you're going to be very loyal and you're going to be very committed and devoted. You appreciate the value relationships bring, but you also value yourself. You value your worth. You value your talents. And in terms of attraction, right? You may really be attracted to partners who are sensual, who can relax with you, who are willing to go more slow and steady with you. Calming, soothing, artistic partners. But then the thing about this is perhaps what makes you very attractive is that you can be very sensual as a lover. Earthy, very sweet. You know, you could have these beautiful lips, gorgeous skin, just there could be a softness about you, or this real gentleness possibly about you. And your voice, oh my goodness, your voice could be so desirable, so beautiful. You may even sing or write music. So yeah, these things, play an instrument, these things about you could be very desirable and attractive. So the way that you receive love, though, may be through words of affirmation. There's something calming about being appreciated for your affections, for your taste, for your cooking, maybe, for your commitment, you know, because you could very well be a lover who you set out to help in a way, and not really in the Virgo way, but more of you can provide practical solutions. And you may be very resourceful. So to be appreciated then for all that you do, that may make you feel very good. What I also want to mention is the secondary progressed Venus may very well enter Gemini throughout your life. And with that, the secondary progressed Venus in Gemini can indicate you being a bit more flexible and adaptable and versatile within relationships, being more willing to try new things, to explore new, fresh ideas. See, with having Venus in Taurus, there can be these qualities of being pretty stuck in a rut or just very firm in terms of, no, these are my values. No, these are the things that I love. I'm not moving. This is comfortable to me. But I do think, the secondary progressed Venus throughout your life, moving into Gemini, could create more of this lightness to you, this easy breezy energy. Okay, let's now move on to Venus in Gemini then. Venus in Gemini, you most likely express love through, well, physical touch and words of affirmation. But others don't know which they're going to get. They don't know. They don't know if it's going to be more of a mental thing or a physical thing. One moment you could be telling your lover how crazy you are about them, and then the next you're playfully sort of chasing them around the room. You keep your lovers on their toes. You like to keep them guessing. And I think that this is what you sort of value and what you appreciate, what you're attracted to when it comes to relationships, you know. So lovers, friends, who they keep you on your toes. And there's a sense of, okay, there's more to get to know. There's more to learn from them. With friends, you can be delightful. You can be very witty. You can be very chatty with your friends. And you are not shy so you won't shy away from giving a close friend a genuine compliment. And if single, you are open to exploring your options. Maybe, you're not super quick to settle, if you will. So if you are single, you may just be more open to, okay, well, I'm seeing this person, but I'm also trying to kind of get to know this other person and I'm not ready to commit yet. And so maybe that's slightly important to you. It's to say, okay, who do I really fit with here? And if anything, you value your freedom. You value fun and curiosity in your relationship. So if you can sense that, it's not like a fun thing, or there's a lack of freedom on your part, that can suffocate you, right? It can really feel like, oh, my wings are being clipped here. And I kind of think of how Mercury, right? Because Mercury rules Gemini in astrology. Mercury, aka Hermes, has the little winged sandals. I mean, Mercury's all about flying around the universe from this thing to that thing. So imagine Mercury not being able to move like that. I mean, that could be so depressing for a Venus in Gemini. Yeah. And yeah, so I think the attraction part, I think you're attracted to partners who value your freedom, but also, partners who maybe have their own thing going on. And just to share my own little experience with this, because I've been doing this with these videos. My partner has Venus in Gemini, and I have a lot of Aquarius in me, and I'm all about my freedom. So I guess you could say that I value also my partner's freedom, and we both have our own things going on, right? I have all my projects to do with astrology, and then my partner, he has his projects that he loves to create. And it's nice that way. I like it. Moreover, you may be attracted to partners who are intelligent, right? They're smart. They never run out of things to say. And maybe that mental stimulation and that kind of connection is so important to you. Plus, in terms of, what makes you really attractive, it's your mind. And I've said this to my partner. I'm like, I'm so attracted to your mind. I just love how you think. Like, I love that you're so smart. Oh, yes. Your mind may be very attractive. And as well, your creativity, your ability to explore new ideas, to get others thinking in new ways. And maybe as well, your playfulness, how entertaining, how funny you can be, how mischievous you can be sometimes. Okay. You can also, so when we think about the way you receive love, it may be through quality time. And you can live a relatively busy life. So spending time with those you love helps you, I think, just enjoy the moment. Plus, you like switching up your activities. So places you go to, you like to switch up the scenery, I would say. You could go to an arcade sometimes, then go to the cinema other times, or go to the beach different times. Yeah. Variety is the spice of life, Venus and Gemini. Now, before we do move on, the secondary progressed Venus could very well move into Cancer. So with the secondary progress moving into Cancer throughout your life, perhaps there will be more of this focus on an emotional bond, an emotional connection, and as well, safety. Feeling that safety, feeling that emotional support, and being comforted as well within your relationships. So with time, I do feel like these qualities within relationships will be sought after. So there is that. Okay, let's now move on to Venus in Cancer. Venus in Cancer. If you have Venus in Cancer, well, you most likely express love through gift giving and quality time. You can be quite sentimental and thoughtful, and I think you really enjoy creating memories with your lovers, with your friends. And so when you notice something you think your friend or your partner might like, you could very well buy it for them. Seeing the look on their face whenever they receive their gift just makes you feel warm inside. Yeah, like I said, you enjoy creating memories with your loved ones. Therefore, you'll make an effort. You will really make an effort to spend time doing the things that you cherish. You value things like celebrations, traditions, and special occasions. And with friends, you can be kind, you can be observant, you notice little things. Perhaps you like looking back on photographs or videos, reminiscing there with friends or lovers. And yes, you can be comfortable single, you can be, but finding that special someone may very well be preferred for you. And even on this note of friendship and things, it's almost like certain friends that you have, they become family. And you value that emotional depth, that emotional connection, or just knowing that your friends are there to support you. Similarly, this applies to your lovers, to your relationships just in general. And so when we think about the types of people you're attracted to, I think you're attracted to friends and lovers who are safe. There's that safety. It's like, you're safe with me. You can trust me. I'm loyal because, hey, you're loyal people. And it's that emotional comfort that you need. So the trust and the emotional comfort in knowing that there is that support, that your friends have your back, or your lover is really there for you. And at the same time, when it comes to you, how you're quite attractive and how you sort of attract, I think that you can give off this rather lovable and sweet presence, but at the same time, you're very protective. You are protective people. You do prefer heartfelt, warm, genuine, sincere bonds and relationships. Others could very well be attracted to your dreamy eyes, or attracted to how sweet you are, how caring you can be, how soulful you can be as well. And just, your way of creating memories with other people. People may really gravitate toward that. Yes. And you can also receive love. So the way that you receive love may be through physical touch. So it's this physical closeness that creates greater security. Knowing that you can reach out and someone is there. And that then is linked to that safety. Your emotional safety, your emotional security there, of course. Now, the secondary progressed Venus could very well enter Leo. And so with that, your relationships can welcome more of this spontaneity, more of this, right, let's just be spontaneous, live for now, get out and party, get into the scene, just enjoy, go to parties. There's a greater liveliness, there's a greater enthusiasm that your relationships take on as you age. Venus in Cancer, especially if you're a Venus in Cancer individual and there is this possible shyness or this possible overprotection, right? When it comes to love and relationships, it's like, oh, I need to protect my heart. But maybe the secondary progressed Venus entering Leo throughout your life could be this sort of just enjoy life. What have you got to lose? All right. Let's now move on to Venus in Leo. Okay. Venus and Leo individuals, you most likely express love through gift giving and words of affirmation. Oh my goodness, you can be amazing at giving others compliments, amazing at recognizing others, lifting them up, being their biggest cheerleader. You'll openly tell your loved ones how much you appreciate them. You'll openly tell your friends or your lover. You'll sing their praises, and oh my goodness, you can be so generous. Generous with your love, generous with money, generous with your resources. But all you ask is to be loved and respected in return. This is because you love to feel loved. So, I mean, let's say you have Venus and Leo and you're big on creating this amazing experience for your partners, your friends during their birthday. You're big into the celebrations. It's like, yes, I want them to feel special. But if you can sense that that is not really returned, or if there's really a lack there coming back to you, it can feel a little bit like, oh, naturally, it's not so black and white, okay, this stuff. And it really depends on your own personal situation, but I'm just giving an example as to what this could look like. But you see, maybe in your eyes, there is no greater feeling than to feel loved and to feel like you're special, right? I mean, you're so great at making other people feel like they're special. You'll compliment your friends easily. You'll compliment your lover easily and let them know how much you adore them. Maybe you take many photos together, or you make the most out of any sort of situation, right? If you go on a date and you just want to have a great time, it's just like, let's have an amazing time. Let's celebrate. And even if you're single, you're still going to own that. You're still going to make the most out of being single, but you still might value the attention that comes with being in a relationship. You still might value that. Naturally, though, with Leo, it's about self-love too. So with being single, you may be big on, okay, well, I still love myself. I'm still going to celebrate myself. No, in terms of attraction, I mean, you may very well be attracted to lovers who they're sure of themselves. They're confident. I think that's a better way to put it. They're confident in who they are. I'll give you just a quick thing here. Venus is in the 5th house in my chart, and I know it's not exactly the same thing. I know. But the 5th house is still about romantic relationships. And with Venus being about attraction, I am attracted to partners who are confident. And it's not about having to, be the loudest person in the room or anything. So yes, for you, Venus and Leo natives, this may run true for you. You may relate to this. And you may also be attracted to lovers who they're creative, they're passionate. And in terms of, well, what makes you attractive, my goodness, your warmth, how regal you can be, how confident in yourself you can be too. Yeah, and you may also just have this show-stopping look to you that stops people in their tracks, and you could very well gain attention for how you appear, or it may not even necessarily be about physical appearance, but this could just be this radiance about you, this glow, and that is so alluring, so attractive. Now, in terms of the way you receive love, well, this may be through gift giving and words of affirmation. So similar to how you express it. The way you show love may be similar to how you receive love. Now, throughout your life, the second day progressed Venus may very well, entering Virgo, that can very well suggest that you start to be a bit more matter of fact and a bit more detailed and analytical and organized about love. And hey, this could just be more of making things a bit more simplified, and maybe not as extravagant. Not as much. Okay, let's now move on to Venus in Virgo. If you have Venus in Virgo, you most likely express love through acts of service and words of affirmation. You'll let your friends or your lovers know how you're proud of them. If you notice something about them, a certain quality, a certain achievement, what they've done, I think you can be quite vocal about, hey, thank you, or hey, I see you. Or when you think, a friend or lover is wearing a nice outfit, or a certain product they have is really lovely, yeah, you may be very vocal about that. And even though you can also let those closest to you know something looks off, because yeah, you can do that too, you do so with pure intentions. You value going out of your way to help your friends, your relatives, or your partners. Perhaps you remember the little things. So let's say that you remember, oh, my friend was saying the other day that they need a notebook or something coffee related. You may go and actually purchase that for them as a nice kind of, hey, I was thinking of you. Or let's say a friend is perhaps going through something, they need some help or assistance. You're not just going to say, oh, I'm sorry to hear that, hope you're okay. You're actually going to be more practical and hands-on about that. You're going to say, oh, anything I can do, what can I help with? Do you need me? It's just kind of taking it more to a practical level. Now, at the same time, you're also very selective when it comes to who you date and who you spend time with. Very selective, very particular. And the wasting time stuff is a big no-no for you. And it's not likely that you'll jump into a relationship without much thought, right? You're really going to analyze, okay, are we a good fit? Are we a good match? So even if you're single, I think it's more about, okay, well, I'm just going to work on myself. I'm going to improve myself, right? With the self-improvement stuff to do with Virgo. Yep. And you can also be quite humble within love, humble when it comes to relationships. And moreover, in terms of the types of partners you are attracted to, I think you really value and appreciate good manners and cleanliness, hygiene. You may be very turned off quickly to mess, And in terms of what makes you attractive, I mean, it could be that you appear it could be very put together. It could be that your mind is very attractive. You're well educated. Maybe being valued for your mind is important to you, valued for the things that you are learning, for the things that you know about. And I also think that your self-care is very attractive. So because you can take care of yourself, which this may not always be the case, because it could also feel like you're constantly trying to help other people. But whenever you can turn that towards yourself and more so think about my self-care, right, that's very attractive, right? There is that magnetic force. You draw more people to you because you're looking after you. And you're more healthy then in this way. You may really value your health, actually. Now, the way that you receive love is also through acts of service, but I would also say physical touch. provided you feel comfortable, of course. You value sensuality and a helping hand, even if you don't necessarily say it. Now, with the secondary progressive Venus entering Libra at some point, this can suggest that you come to also value greater give and take within relationships. And maybe this is where we take it a step further. Instead of getting into these states of, I'm always helping, I'm always being of service, I'm always doing everything for everyone. The secondary progressive Venus in Libra could say, hey, well, you know what? That's not fair. I'm standing for justice. What about the equality within the relationship? What about the fairness within the relationship? So then moving on to Venus in Libra. Venus in Libra, folks. If you have Venus in Libra, you most likely express love through quality time and words of affirmation. You're fair and you're diplomatic in relationships, but you're also romantic, you're also loving. You value all the perks and the special moments that come with being in a partnership, and you'll gladly tell your partner or your friends how much they mean to you. But you'll also notice if they don't declare their love and their affections back. You'll pick up on anything that feels off balance. Yes, this is what I was trying to say. With Venus and Libra, it's very much about that give and take. So if maybe someone isn't doing their part within the relationship, this could be a friendship, this could be a lover. If they're not doing their part, you can feel it. So you pick up on it. You may call it out too. The big milestones in relationships might excite you as well. There can be a lot of excitement with that. So certain anniversaries, certain dates. Yes. If you have children, right, birthdays. However, you will not simply settle. No. Sure, you can be idealistic in love, but you also know what you're deserving of. Yes. You want to be with someone who pairs with you, matches with you beautifully. Now, as for being single, I do think that, okay, sure, Venus and Libra can suggest there is this search, right? There's this continuous sort of search for partnership. But I also think if single, there is a good way for you to direct this balance that we talk about within. This is more about, okay, how can I really get right with myself? How can I balance my heart and my mind? What feels off key here within my body? Maybe there's a greater focus, a greater emphasis on these things whenever you're not in a relationship, because I guess with you being single, you're spending more time with yourself. You may also then be more willing to date and kind of just see who you do gel with most. So there is that. Now, as for attraction, I think you are attracted to partners who are sort of similar to Venus and Virgo. Yes, well-mannered, but possibly charming. They can be quite charming, very good with their words, eloquent. Partners who are quite smart, educated, but also fashionable. Yes, fashionable, maybe musical, artistic. And hey, when it comes to what makes you appear very attractive, it's your elegance. It's how sultry and classic you appear, right? You can very well captivate people with your style, with your fashion, with your beauty, your aesthetic, and your voice as well may be very charming. And even just how you say things, your charm in general. As for the way you receive love, well, this may be through gift giving. You may really enjoy it when friends, when lovers give you nice things. But hopefully the things that they give you are more your style. If they're not, it's like, oh my gosh, I do not want to display that in my house. Put it in the cupboard. Joking. Right. Venus, then the secondary progressed Venus, moving into Scorpio throughout your life, this adds greater depth and intensity to your relationships. I think you come to really look at the more magnetic intensity there, and the intimacy within your partnerships. So with that being said, let's now move on to Venus in Scorpio. Venus and Scorpio natives. If you have Venus in Scorpio, you most likely express love through physical touch and quality time. You value intensity and deep emotional connection in love. You know superficial stuff here. No. Oh, no. Feeling a close bond with your friends is also preferred. Like I said, you're not looking for superficial, above the surface relationships. You crave something intimate, whether that be a physical, sexual, or emotional relationship. Whether the relationship involves these things, right? These levels. Passion is also necessary, and loyalty and commitment are important. Being lied to is like huge no. You must know that you can trust the people in your life. You'll focus on your partners and you will defend them until the very end. So, yes, in terms of trust, if that trust is broken, it's can you go back? It can just be looked at, it's broken, we're done, this kind of thing. And if anything, your relationships, they really transform you from the inside out. But the thing about this too is you transform other people. So you being with a certain someone and even being friends with someone for a duration of time, you could very well transform their lives. But the transformations are not so conscious. They're not so noticeable at first. But then you think more about, okay, how will this play out eventually? And there's such strong feelings involved there. You really do establish like deep bonds. And I think this is partly part of your power within relationships. But yet it could also be a curse, Could be this thing of it's a blessing, but it's also a curse, because it's like, why do I feel so deeply? I have Venus in Capricorn, right? But it makes a square to the moon in the 8th house in my chart. And I know it's not exactly the same thing, but hey, you know what? Venus also makes a sextile to Pluto. So there is a bit of an influence there. But what I'm trying to get at is I feel this. I'm like, why do I feel as deeply as I do? What's wrong with me? By the way, I don't think that now. I don't think what's wrong with me now. Just when I was younger, it was a lot. Especially when you're younger, your hormones and your emotions are going a lot more crazy. But yeah, this could very well relate. You could very well relate to this information. Plus, if you're single, you're comfortable. You're comfortable being single. You would rather be single than be in a relationship based on falsehood, right? Based on the superficial stuff. And this then could also suggest that through your relationships and even through being single, you regenerate your power a lot. You regenerate your energy. So when it comes to the types of people you're attracted to, it is depth. It's depth. No shallow behaviors. And loyalty and trust, huge. And for you, right, thinking about how you attract, how you are attractive, well, it's your mysteriousness. It's your, ooh, I wonder what they're like. I want to get to know them. But then it's also just how strong and resilient you are from within. That's powerful. That's magnetic, very attractive. Now, the way you receive love may be through quality time and physical touch as well. See, essentially, intimacy is key. Intimacy all the way. And by the way, by intimacy, I don't just mean sexual intimacy. Yes, this intimacy, like I said, it can be emotional, physical, etc. Now, before we move on to Venus in Sagittarius, with the secondary regress Venus moving into Sagittarius throughout your life, Venus and Scorpio natives, I think this welcomes more of this freeing influence, especially if it is that, you've been in a pretty heavy relationship or there is that intensity involved, or if there has been like a huge shift, or these, you've went through these renewals related to love and it's been emotionally sort of depleting, So the secondary regress Venus in Sagittarius could just welcome greater expansion and freedom. If you have Venus in Sagittarius, you most likely express love through words of affirmation and gift giving. You enjoy engaging in intellectual and interesting conversations with partners, relatives, friends. You can be quite funny. You value laughter. You value goofing around and not really taking life super seriously. And in terms of gift giving, maybe you like giving gifts, you like gifting others experiences. So it's more about the gift giving of experiences, events, spending time together over physical gifts. So yeah, thinking more about the other part of this, which is quality time. So this could look like giving a friend a trip to their favorite restaurant, or gifting your partner a concert ticket, gifting a friend a boat trip, or going on a boat trip together. Yes, you're all up for experiences, Venus in Sagittarius. And you enjoy your freedom, okay? You enjoy your freedom. So even if you're single, it's not going to really faze you much because there's freedom there anyway. And that's similar to Venus and Gemini, like I was saying. You need to feel like there is freedom. If you feel like, your wings are being clipped, it's just a big, big no. Life is an adventure. It's supposed to be lived. It's supposed to be experienced. It's supposed to be fun. And you're supposed to experience the joy and the happiness, the uplifted feelings, right? And if you can sense that that's not happening, it's suffocating. And then even thinking about this further with attraction, you may be attracted to lovers, friends, partners who are quite open-minded, who are about their freedom, and they're big on making experiences and doing all the things. Like there's just something enthusiastic about them and energetic about them. They love life, right? They're positive people. You then can also be very positive and very encouraging and complimentary toward those that you love too. Big on compliments. I'm really seeing people in this way. And then just as much, what makes you attractive is, well, how adventurous, how vibrant. There's a vibrancy to you, how adventurous and how vibrant you can be, and how open you are, how wild and free you can be. It's, yeah, very attractive indeed. Now, as for how you receive love, the way you receive love may be through quality time. Because it's like, okay, at quality time, let's go do something together. Like I said, life is an adventure. It is to be lived. And so doing fun and exciting things with your loved ones is preferred. You can be spontaneous, Venus and Sagittarius. Now, as for the secondary progressed Venus entering Capricorn throughout your life, this is where we notice how you come to really value structure within relationships and partnerships. You come to really value the longevity of them and the commitment that they bring, and possibly you grow to become somewhat more responsible when it comes to relationship matters. So right here, we move into Venus in Capricorn. Venus in Capricorn, folks. You most likely express love through gift giving and quality time. You'll put plenty of thought into the items you buy for lovers, relatives, and friends. You want to get them something of great quality. Quality is so important. Something that is long-lasting, something that is sturdy, and you're willing to spend the money. I have Venus in Capricorn, and I relate to this. I want good quality things that can last me a long time. And so I am willing to save for those things. Perhaps you can relate, or perhaps you create gift-giving traditions. That's another thing. You could very well do that. And that's kind of similar for myself. I have certain gift-giving traditions. Little things for Halloween for people, Easter for people. And seeing as you work so much, you truly value the time you spend with loved ones. And I think this is why quality time is important to you. At times, it can be difficult, though, for you to relax, and you are not so spontaneous. You may like to have a plan. It's kind of funny because, as I was saying earlier, my partner has Venus in Gemini, and then I've got the Venus in Capricorn, so you can maybe imagine, I'm like, but I need a plan. And he's like, just go with it. It's kind of funny, yeah. But once you let go, okay, this is the thing. Once you let go of control, things don't always have to have a plan or a time frame, right? You can be so sensual. You can be very loving. You can be very gentle. I mean, there can be walls that are put up when it comes to having Venus in Capricorn. And it can take time. It can take time to bring down your walls. You do not take relationships lightly. This is true. This is true for me. I do not take them lightly. And it can take a while for me to bring down my walls. But Capricorn is an earth sign after all. And so you can be very sensual people, very loving people. And if you must be single whilst you focus on your career, so be it. So be it. That way you can focus on your goals. You may even be a Venus and Capricorn person who, if you feel like your significant other or friends, whatever, are getting in the way of you trying to succeed your own goals or focus on your purpose, focus on your career, then you may be quick to kind of go, this isn't working very well. Yes, okay, sure, you can be committed, you can be very loyal people, and you want the longevity, you want a long-lasting bond, you want long-lasting relationships. But if people get really weird about that, if they try to mess with you, disrespect you, stuff like this, yeah, it gets to a point where you're like, well, I have to draw the line here, right? So you do keep in mind, I think, your own boundaries and limitations when it comes to relationships. And so when we think about the types of people you are attracted to, I think you're attracted to people who are secure within themselves, who have their own ambitions, their own goals that they're focusing on, and then you can focus on your own, or attracted to partners where you're building together. There is this kind of mutual respect, this mutual agreement of, right, okay, this is the future we're building toward together. This is what we both want. And then when we think about what makes you attractive, you can be rather mature, responsible, reliable, dedicated people. And you may be wise beyond your years, or you may have this timeless look to you. You are the types of people who may, as you get older, you look younger. And the way you receive love may be through physical touch. You like having your lover close. Physical closeness is reassuring. And I can certainly relate to this. I do. I like to have my partner close. Okay. As the second eye progresses, Venus enters Aquarius throughout your life. Well, this welcomes greater, well, let's just say trying things outside of the box, experimentation, greater independence as well, and freedom. Really valuing your freedom and valuing as well friendship, friendship within love. So with that being said, let's move on to Venus in Aquarius. If you have Venus in Aquarius, you most likely express love through acts of service or words of affirmation. You can be caring, you can be thoughtful toward your loved ones. You're willing to help them, especially helping them during a difficult situation. And hey, perhaps people come to you for that support. They come to you for moral support. Your partners, your friends, your relatives also know you will not judge them. And perhaps you are well liked for being friendly, for being open. You may value as well your intellectual discussions about humanity, about global issues, or just valuing your intellect in general. You could be people who are more about talking about, ideas. Let's talk about the world. You gravitate as well toward people who are like-minded, but you also don't mind a good debate, or you don't mind, of course, being friends with people who have different opinions to you, right? There's still that openness there present. Moreover, you're quite open-minded when it comes to dating. And if you're single, you don't mind. Being single here means greater independence, greater freedom, greater space. With Venus being in Aquarius, your space might be everything to you. Yes, you're going to be loyal. Yes, you're going to be committed once you're in a relationship, but you still need that space. So if you're single, it's like, okay, well, woohoo, I can be with myself anytime I want. Yes. And as for the types of people you're attracted to, maybe you are attracted to people who are real intellectuals, right? They're big on ideas, they're big on changing the world, or they really value, matters that, they're related to more like collective themes and making a difference possibly within society. Or perhaps you're attracted to friendly, just kind people. Kindness could go a long way here. And then as for you with Venus and Aquarius, perhaps it's your sort of friendliness, it's your kindness that is very attractive and pleasing. And you may really value being complimented for your intelligence, possibly. People liking your intelligence, liking the way that you think, or how different you can be. Your ideas that are unique to you, maybe you value, and then so people may be attracted to those. And when people are, it's like, oh, wow, cool. Now, the way you receive love may be through words of affirmation. You prefer being with partners who can match you intellectually. There needs to be a good, decent conversation going on there. So this to me kind of makes sense because my secondary progressed Venus is in Aquarius. And then as I was saying earlier, my partner's Venus is in Gemini. So there's a lot of, I think we're well matched, basically, intellectually. Yes. Now, before we move on to Venus and Pisces, I just want to say that the secondary progressed Venus entering Pisces throughout your life here can suggest that what you come to value when it comes to relationships and partnerships is more of this, let's just let go, let's escape, let's escape the world together, let's go into hiding together, romance, living in the fantasy, in a bubble, perhaps. In fact, the secondary progressed Venus, for me, will enter Pisces in the next few years, and it's going to enter my 7th house. So I'm actually looking forward to that, to see what's up ahead there. Okay, so lastly then, Venus in Pisces. Venus in Pisces individuals. If you have Venus in Pisces, you most likely express love through gift giving and physical touch. You want your lovers and your friends, etc., to know how much you love them, and you're willing to wear your heart on your sleeve. There's a gentleness to you, there's a softness, and maybe this is also why, as I was saying earlier, I'm excited to experience my secondary progressed Venus entering Pisces for these reasons. You might even tell your partner you love them quite early on. Perhaps you feel ready to move in together quite quickly or get married, so earlier than others may expect or think. And perhaps you are quite idealistic in love, and you want to feel a deeper connection. Something soulful and spiritual is valued. However, this is the thing, just a tricky thing here. You might also merge too tightly or lose yourself in others. So do keep that in mind. You're both empathetic and afraid of getting hurt. Whilst you enjoy your alone time, you don't like feeling alone. Fascinating to think about, because whilst you do enjoy being alone, you also do value that emotional connection, that emotional bond that you have with others. So as a result of this, you might jump from person to person. Yeah. But for those of you who are single, okay, because it could play out differently, just depending. For those of you who are single, maybe there is a stronger influence then on just doing the things that make your heart sing, doing the things that really communicate to your soul. Maybe this is where the spirituality stuff comes in more strongly, right? If you are someone who has Venus and Pisces and you're more aware, right? Maybe you've become more aware of the stuff that I just mentioned. And so through that spiritual exploration, through that greater guidance, you may come to a point of, I'm actually really happy within myself here. I'm happy single. I love who I am, Anything Pisces, there is a spiritual conversation happening, right? Now, when it comes to the types of people you're attracted to, though, I think this is where we notice maybe being quite similar music-wise, being attracted to artists, being attracted to writers or musicians, compassionate people, empathetic people. I mean, I've got Pisces in the 7th house, and my partner, I would say that he's an artist. He may not say that, but I would say he's an artist. Yes. And in terms of what makes you attractive, I think you just being very dreamy or knowledgeable, wise, loving, just cherishing the moment, right? Being creative and colorful. Yes, these things are very attractive, and it's your kind of soothing, gentle way of behaving and the way that you appear in this way, because you think of how Venus can be about this glow. It can be about what draws people to us. So yes, these qualities I mentioned could be very attractive and magnetic. Now, the way that you receive love may be through quality time. You like knowing that your lover or your friend wants to be with you. They want to be with you. Now, in terms of the secondary progressed Venus for you, this will then move into Aries at some point. So with the secondary progressed Venus in Aries, this then kickstarts this, okay, my identity. What do I want? There could be a greater focus there on my goals, my passions, and maybe just a little bit of that separation, the separation from merging too strongly. So if there is that tight pull, that tight grasp that comes with relationships there, that's present, and it's maybe too much, too consuming, perhaps that secondary progressed Venus in Aries can sort of assist you with, okay, well, this is my identity. Well, everyone, this has been Venus through the signs. Thank you all so much for watching. And again, if you want to become a patron, you can do so. Thank you so much to my patrons over at Patreon for all of your support. Over there, you can find daily forecasts, behind the scenes content, etc. Thank you all for listening. And if you would like to book a reading with me, you can do so by going to hannahselsewhere.com. And if you really did enjoy this video, this information today, you can always buy me a coffee, but naturally, no pressure. Anyway, this has been the video about the Venus signs. Thank you for watching. Please make sure to comment, like, subscribe, all that good stuff. And with that, I will talk to you all in the next video. Bye!